Ladies and gentlemen from around the world, look who we have here. Mia, it is a pleasure and honor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you. Now, what's going on for the holidays? What have you got on?
Oh, I'm probably just gonna hang out with the family,
Yeah.
cook some food, the basics. It's not. Okay, so one of the things I always have been doing in the last few years, this is gonna sound really nerdy, but it's what I've been doing. Is over the Christmas period, we've been replaying Divinity, so Divinity Original Sin. So
You talking my
that's
language.
that's been my Christmas like routine, and so this year now we're actually I haven't finished Baldur's Gate, so I'm gonna finish Baldur's Gate, and that's gonna be my because now I'm free for like 2 weeks.
Okay, now I've got about 10 questions. First one. So, which one are you finishing first, Divinity or Baldur's Gate?
Oh no, I've already done like I've finished Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2 every year for the last like 3 years. I'll just redo but different character. Um, that's Christmas. And we've always played a video game over Christmas. That's been like my thing since I was a kid. Like my dad even had Ataris and Commodore 64 and this sort of thing. So like I've had video games in my house since I was an amoeba. So I've always been playing. It's like, oh, Christmas, you get a new video game and then you play the video game. And then there, so during the COVID lockdowns, we got Divinity because we were like, oh, that's a nice meaty game. That'll take up a lot. Lots of stuff to learn in that one. Or like before that, I remember I was playing The Witcher, so then I just would spend, hours learning how to make potions. Not
Not
actually
on
playing the game
Gwent?
at all. I'm no, I didn't want to play Gwent. I just wanted to gather herbs.
I spent too much time on Gwent on The Witcher, tell you what. So, you've always been a gamer?
Yeah. But that was one of the things that was nice about getting this game because everyone was like, oh, what's that? Like a lot of my actor friends. But then all of my nerd friends are like, oh. And I'm like, yay.
So, how far are you into Baldur's Gate 3?
I'm I think I'm kind of near the end, but then because of that, I've been going around trying to open every single box and look at every area just in case there's a mission I've missed or someone I haven't spoken to. So yeah, I'm at that stage, where I'm kind of like, oh, it feels like it's getting towards the end. I better do everything.
So, are you playing by yourself or did you say we?
Yeah, so this one I'm playing with my partner, and then I am going to play it again on my own, I think, um, because I want to try some of the other characters. Also, I know that I've recorded stuff that I haven't seen, so I'm like, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to replay to see all the different bits.
I saw on your Instagram you found a few of your characters, haven't you? How many do you know the names of?
Oh, I should have written it down somewhere. I think there's six that I've got the names of. Maybe seven. I think there's one that I haven't found at all, but I think they might not be in the game because they were supposed to be in a farmhouse, and then I found like a farmhouse where everyone was dead, and I was like, oh, maybe that was them.
You got on the cutting room floor, literally.
Yeah.
I
So
know you wanted to be an animal, didn't you? I read that somewhere. You wanted to be, yeah.
how did you read that? Who said that? I did. I really wanted to be an animal. I really wanted to be like a rat or something. And then I just wanted to give someone like a nonsense clue.
What would your squirrel voice be if they
Oh,
gave you a squirrel?
I'm friends with all the squirrels in my back garden, and they all sound like this. They're all like, but then they also scream really loudly. Have you ever heard a squirrel scream?
They scream.
They scream. So they sit on the fence and they're just like, ah! Like, I'm like, what are you doing, squirrel? Why are you screaming? Just take the
Really?
nut.
What is
Yeah.
that? Just like a dog barking, or
It's almost like a tiny, tiny dog barking, but like a scream. Like they hold it for longer than they should. Maybe it was very angry squirrel, like you just do it a scream, and then otherwise I'd be like, hello, can I have a nut?
see? We don't really have squirrels down in Australia. We have like massive snakes and spiders and kangaroos that'll
Yeah.
knock your lights out. And
But there's really fun like scary birds. I know I've got a bunch of cousins in Australia, and I remember one of my cousins being really afraid of one of the sounds of one of the particular birds that's really quite like it's like a jarring.
Kookaburra?
Probably
Yeah,
do
it's
an
probably a
impression.
kookaburra. Yeah, I'm not going to do the sound because it'll
No, no, how does it
someone will
sound?
clip it. I can't. It's an interesting sound. Yeah, look it up. It'll wake you up in the morning. That's for sure. So Baldur's Gate 3. How have you found the game? Yeah, as a seasoned gamer. I mean, how good is it? How
I
freaking
love
good
it.
is this game?
Yeah, yeah, I really love it. I love all the little like additional things. There's so much to like look for, and I've been the one thing I haven't been doing, which I feel bad about, is I haven't been reading all of the books. I normally like to read everything, right? And I'm
Wow.
like, oh, I haven't read all the books, so I'm like, I have no idea what the story is here, but I think I've already got this book, but I'll pick it up again. So now I've just got like thousands of books in a chest. They're all mine. It's
So
my library.
you might go back and get a bit of the lore.
Yeah, like I've been reading some of them, and I'm like, oh wait, so is that that person, or is that yeah?
So what's it like playing Divinity for the last few years and then being in one of those games yourself as a seasoned gamer, being actually having a big character in one of these games? What's that like for
I
you?
think I think the funny thing is like I was playing Divinity, and I was like, okay, Baldur's Gate's coming out soon, so that's gonna be really fun. I can play that next time. And then I had this audition, and I didn't really think much about it because we're auditioning all the time, different things, um, and they don't tell you anything. And then I got the job, and I was like, oh, this is exciting. This is really cool. I love that. I really wanted to be like a proper character in a game. And then I saw the contract, and I was like, wait a minute, Larian, hold on. I know who this is. I know what this is. And I was like, am I in Baldur's Gate 3? And so I got there and I was asking, and they were like, yeah, yeah, that's what we're doing. And I'm like, oh, that's actually amazing because I wanted to play that game and now I'm in it. So now I get to find myself.
No nerves.
No, they're really, really nice. They're very, very welcoming when you go into the studio. I'd say of the voiceover studios I've been at, they're one of the most sort of, yeah, like comfortably welcoming, just like, hey, come in. Do you want a cup of tea? How's it going? Should we read some lines? Like it feels very relaxed, so it doesn't feel too scary. Whereas some other places I'm a bit like, ooh, this is like, I don't know, the vibes. Whereas the vibes at Pitstop was always very, very sort of chill, and everybody kind of felt like yeah, just like, yeah, we got this.
Welcoming environment,
Even
isn't
when
it?
they were very, very frazzled, even when there was so much that they were trying to record in one day, so they had people coming back to back to back to back, they were still sort of very much like, hey, we're back to back, but come in, it's all right.
Yeah. That puts you
So,
at ease as an actor, doesn't it?
oh yeah, it makes a huge difference because like, your voice is so connected to your emotions, so you can hear it all. So if I'm nervous,
Mm,
you can hear all of that, you'd be able
100%.
to. So allowing the sort of playfulness then to come out because you're more relaxed, you're less worried about getting it right, and you're more like, oh, actually we could try this, maybe we could try this, maybe I could do this.
Do you like to do that with the roles you usually get? Are you quite playful, like to kind of mix things up a little bit?
Normally I'll try and figure out what I think is best for the story, so I'll look at the script and I'll try and guess, okay, this is the kind of character in contrast to the other characters, and this is what those other characters say about this character, and so who is this person? And I'll try and figure out, yeah, what would service the story best. And then if there's an opportunity to be playful, or we've got time to be playful, then yeah, then it's like, oh, well, maybe we could try this, and maybe they could be a bit like this, or because especially with some of the smaller characters, which were very, very sort of like, I just came in, I'd be doing some lines for Isobel, and then be like, oh, actually, we've got another little character that we wouldn't mind you reading for because when they met me, they realized that my natural voice isn't quite the same as Isabel's. And they were like, oh, actually, maybe you could read for this one. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then it's like, okay, make up a character right now. Like, here's the lines, go.
Do you thrive under that pressure? Do you love that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. Because then it's like, okay, I'll just try this and see. And what do you think? Oh, you like that? Okay, cool. Or maybe they could be younger. Okay. Or maybe they'll do this. And I was like, all right, let's try that. Maybe they're really old. Okay.
That's brilliant. What's the most nervous you've ever been before a shoot?
I don't know about nervous before a shoot, but it was maybe I played a nurse in The Crown, and that was quite nervy just because it was COVID times and we had to do like constant COVID tests. I was like, I think we did like 7 COVID tests. So I was a bit like, ooh. And yeah, so I was a bit like on edge for that one. Or the worst one was actually a voiceover job that I didn't do very good at, because on the way to the job, I was racially hate crimed on the way in. So when I got there, I couldn't calm down. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's terrible.
My heart was just kept going, and I was like, but it was like, yeah, so that wasn't very nice. I couldn't calm down. I didn't get myself into a position where I was like, okay, just relax, just read. I was like, at the end of every sentence.
Oh, that's so. What did you do when you went home from that one? How do you decompress from something like that and not let it get to you? You know what I mean?
I told my agent afterwards. I was like, yeah, I think I really screwed up that job because I couldn't relax. I was like nervous sweats and yeah, no, normally I'll just have a shower, and I've got the memory of a goldfish, so I'll forget in about 10 minutes anyway.
Same here. Memory of a goldfish. That's my favorite line.
Yeah, it's like, it's all right. I won't remember it in a bit.
Oh, so this must rank pretty high from the jobs you've done. Baldur's Gate 3. This must be up there, playing Isobel.
Oh, yeah. This for me is like, for a very long time, I've been like, I really, really want to be in video games in any capacity. That's why I'd done some motion capture courses, because I met a motion capture director, and he was like, oh, yeah, you should come down to my courses. My brother's done stunts for motion capture before for video games. And I always wanted to be in a game. I didn't care what kind of capacity. Super happy if I could just come in and play a rap. Like, if I could just do one line even, I was like, that would be so good. And then being in a game that is so iconic is like, it's a real surprise. Yeah, like I just feel like, finally some of my nerd friends will be proud of me.
What about the real friends? The non-nerd friends? Surely they're proud.
I have real friends. No, no, I just know that a lot of my other friends, they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. About this stuff. What is that? What game? Who? And I'm like, but that's the thing that's more surprising about this game, is that friends that I never thought would be getting into gaming have been playing. Like, friends that never played games are playing Baldur's Gate as their first ever game. And I'm like, that's intense. Like,
first game, yeah, that's pretty intense.
For your first ever game, this is like baptism of fire kind of level.
Most people's first games like Pong or Tetris or friggin' Baldur's Gate 3, okay.
I'm like, yeah, man, that's awesome. But it does mean that, I've got friends that I really wasn't expecting to be as excited or playing it as well. So that's really cool.
When you're watching your scenes where it's your character, do you get taken out of it, or can you just experience it like everyone else? What's that like for you?
I think I can experience it like everyone else, partially because some of the lines I've completely forgotten saying.
The memory of a goldfish, yeah.
It was a while ago, and I'm like, is that me? Or like, especially some of the smaller characters, I'd be like walking around the town, and I'm like, wait, that sounds really familiar.
That's me.
That's really, yeah,
that's me.
It's me.
That's fantastic. Oh man,
Why do I know this story? I seem to know this story somehow.
No, I agree. Baldur's Gate 4, I'd just be happy to be a rat or just one of those one line. Honestly, that'd do me.
Yeah.
Seriously.
If they wanted me back just to play rats.
You're really going down this rat path. Are you okay?
Well, no,
why rats?
It's really fun. I really enjoy talking to the animals. But also, yeah, a tree, an inanimate object that can speak.
What about a dog or a cat?
Yeah, a dog or a cat would be great. Especially if you could, like, keep them. I'd love to be one of the pets.
That are on the, like Scratch. Yeah.
Yeah, or the owl. I'd like that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, what's it like being J.K. Simmons' daughter?
I think for me, I didn't know who was going to be playing any of the other characters until sort of everyone else found out, kind of thing. So
you were already done?
No, I was still recording stuff, but when the first sort of commercials were coming out, adverts were coming out that were showing these things, I was like, and everyone was like, "Oh, did you see?" I'm like, "What? What did I see? Who? Where?" So that was really cool. And it was the same with other characters I'm talking to a lot of the time. I didn't know what their voices were like until I'm playing the game. Some of them during recording, they would give us a little bit of playback, maybe just 1 or 2 lines. But it's really nice to have, get to experience it in that way and actually see how the conversations sound out and, what are who these characters are that I'm talking about in the game.
How much did they tell you of the story from the beginning, or was it kind of being fleshed out as you?
It was kind of like they knew stuff, but I didn't know stuff. And they would give me my lines for that section. So, for example, I'd have a whole bunch of lines to look over, and I'd know vaguely the context of those lines, but I wouldn't know the entire thread of all of those. And also because there's so many different options, right? They'd all go off in different branches. Like, oh, if I'm talking to this person, then I'm going to say this, or if I like this person, it's going to go this way. Yeah. So by the end of it, I'm like, I don't know who I'm talking to or where I am or what's going on. But I could kind of piece together the story, and I kept track of what was going on in that sense. But it was mostly through not guesswork. It was almost like being a detective. I'm like, oh yeah, well, I said this to that person, which means that this must be there. And I kind of figured it out. But nothing was explicitly told to me. I wasn't given a whole overview story. I was just given a character description. For me, I think most of Isobel's situations were quite clear to me. I don't think there was anything that was too like her. You didn't have to say a lot for me to know what her position was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you're here. Yeah. You're protecting this inn, and you're exhausted, and you've been fighting for decades. You're literally, and this is happening, that's happening, and then you're like, okay, cool. So this is the situation that I'm in. So then, of course, I'm going to be emotional.
You seem to not have trouble with those. Like from the other work I've seen, you seem to thrive on those emotional sort of sequences when you're shooting. Am I wrong?
I think for me, it's quite. I'm the kind of person who'll cry in a cartoon if it's sad. Do you know what I mean? Like if you tell me a sad story, you don't even need to tell me. I don't even see anything. You can just make up a sad story right now, and I'll probably cry. It'll just be it doesn't even need to be true. Like you could,
I'll fake a story and get you emotional.
Yeah. Like I can get emotionally attached to like a hairbrush and be sad because I dropped it. Like there's
Have you always been like that?
Yeah, I got really upset once when I lost a hairbrush. I left it in America, and I was like, no, that was my favorite hairbrush. Like if I convince myself that something is important, it's important. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I'm just like, oh no, that poor thing or whatever it is, whatever the situation is. Like,
So you're half Chinese, half Irish, and half Singaporean.
yeah, I mean that's three halves there. So
Yeah, yeah. Work me
um,
through this.
so I'm half Singaporean Chinese and half Irish.
Right.
So
My
yeah.
mistake. Sorry. So who's
I've just
who?
got an extra third, I've got an extra arm and an extra leg.
But you were born in the UK.
Yeah, yeah. So I was born in
Yeah.
London. So I'd say when people ask me what I identify as, I'd probably say I'm a Londoner first. And then yeah, my Irishness and my Singaporean Chineseness is equal.
So was this always going to be the road for you from early on as a little one, or
I always loved acting. And I remember when I was really little and I was in like all of the school plays, and I remember once, do you know what I remember? I think I remember the time when I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Was we were, we were doing a reenactment of one of the Bible stories about Joseph and the multicolor raincoat. It's not a raincoat, but Joseph and the Technicolor dream coat of dreams.
yeah, yeah,
And my teacher told me to play Joseph, and I was like, "But Miss, I'm a girl," and she was like, "Yeah, that's fine. You know, you're acting, so you know anyone can play anyone." And I was like, "Oh," and then she's like, "But Miss, I've got long hair." She was like, "Yeah, but you boys back then also had long hair." I was like, "Oh, this is amazing. I want to
you
do
loved
this.
it. Yeah, that's great.
I want to be a boy with long hair. This is great." I was like, so I could, it just like meant that, yeah, I could be anything and I could play anything and do anything. So I really, really liked that. But yeah, no, my undergraduate was in engineering, because that's what happens. You just get a science degree, and then you go back and do a year of drama school and go, actually, I'm going to do that instead.
So I'm guessing you're good at school, good grades.
Yeah, yeah, I always got good grades. I don't know why, but I did. And then, yeah, I went to design engineering school.
What was that
It
like?
was
Not for you.
No, it was a bit weird. I was like, "Why? How did I end up here? I'm doing so." So my what was it? My A levels were all in things like illustration and drama and
Creative.
media.
Mm.
And then I applied for a whole bunch of different schools. Some of them were for languages because I was really keen on learning some more languages, or for art stuff. And I saw this one thing, it was like virtual product design. I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. I didn't really look into it. I just thought that sounds really interesting. I'll just put it down on the list. Sent off my stuff. And it was a science degree. So I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I could have a science degree in virtual product design. Ooh. And then I got in and I got offered a scholarship. So I was like, oh, it's free. And it sounds really cool. I guess I'll go there. And I was supposed to be doing motion capture, but from the other side, from the engineering side in that course. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But then they killed off my course because I was the only person left on the class. So I ended up being put into the one of the other groups in the engineering school, doing like just product design engineering stuff. So I ended up doing mechatronics. And I was like, how am I here? Why am I programming a microchip? I don't know how to program a microchip. I don't know binary. Oh no. But it was fine. And you know, I did well. I don't know how, but I did. And then I got out and was working as a designer. And then I thought, actually, I really want to do the acting thing. So I did 1 year at drama school, which was a postgraduate. So it was like an intensive, like everything squished into
To
a
1
year.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm quite impatient. And I was like, I don't really want to do another full 3 years of my life. I was like, let's just do it now, squish it all in. So that was really good to reset my path, if that makes sense. And also it means that when I graduated and I would say, oh yeah, I'm an actor. And then people would be like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, I just graduated from drama school. And they'd be like, ah.
At least you got
Now,
something to show for it. Is that what you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of gives you that stamp of approval. Otherwise,
Yeah.
sometimes people just look at you like you are a bit insane.
How did you go finding an agent and all that sort of stuff?
I think just the normal, usual way. Like
Yeah.
you write to people, you talk to people,
Yeah.
and the agency I'm currently with, I actually met the agent that I originally signed with at an audition, and then they signed me, and now I'm with a different agent, the same agency. And then yeah, it's I'm not very good at the whole writing to people thing. Like I'm not that great at writing.
Why is that?
Oh,
What's the barrier?
I feel really awkward, like talking about myself on paper. It's like, oh, who are you? It's like, I don't know.
It's
How do I
hard to
advertise?
sum up someone in so short of a word. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know how to writing blurbs is like the worst. When anyone tells me to write a bio, I'm like, oh, now I'm having nervous sweats. Do you know what I mean? Like if you told me to get up on stage and tell it to like 3,000 people, not a problem. But if you tell me to write a bio, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do?
That's so funny.
I
Wow.
can't do it. I need someone else to do it for me. I'm like, yeah, we're supposed to like write to casting directors and write to, and like that's a big part of the job, the business side of the job. Yeah, I'm not that good. I'm really not that good at that bit.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You're a big fan of the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack.
How did you know that?
I love hearing that. That's yeah. Is that true?
I mean, I love all of a lot of game soundtracks
Yeah.
were a lot of what I used to listen to. I was always one of those people that would have my music on just on random, like random shuffle or whatever. And I did like the Final Fantasy soundtracks when I was younger, especially Final Fantasy VII. I remember learning. I was trying to teach myself piano because I was that kind of kid. And I decided what I would try and learn is stuff from the soundtracks. So I was
I
trying
would
to
too.
learn
Yeah.
what are the Final Fantasy songs, and it was like yeah, it's beautiful. I think a lot of the time as well with music, I really loved piano music and that kind of thing that I could just have creating atmosphere. So a lot of that stuff was perfect.
Are you still like that now, or what are you into these days, music wise?
Music wise, so I've done a weird thing. All my friends think I'm insane. I've stopped listening to music in my spare time. Like I don't have any on my phone. I don't listen to it when I'm traveling or anything like that. And they're all like, why? I'm like, I don't know. I just decided one day that I wanted to listen to the sound of the train instead. And then
Hold on.
now I
Hold on. Hold on. So so everyone in the train has their headphones on probably, right? And you want to hear the train, but you're still on your phone?
yeah, I might be looking at a comic. I might be reading a comic, and then on the train I'll just be like listening to maybe someone's talking over there, and I'll just I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I sound like a maniac, don't I?
No, I think it's kind of cool. Like you kind of want to be in the moment. Is what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like just listening to the sounds as I walk down the street, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's some birds over there. Or
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe not the train, but I agree with I agree with the walking through the city or whatever, yeah, for sure.
and just listening to stuff, like just stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of have been doing that. And then the other thing I do is I tour musicians when I'm not acting. I tour them through Europe a lot of the time. So I'll be listening to their music, obviously, because I'm organizing the show, and then also like in the pre-production side and stuff like that.
So can you explain that to me? What is
I'm
this?
kind of like the tour organizer, so I'll help with the ingress of all of the audience coming in, and I'll help with setting up backstage and setting up the lights or whatever needs to be on stage for them. And
So this is your
logistically,
job outside of acting, yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the other thing I'll do. So if I'm either acting or I'm touring musicians, or I'm building furniture, or
Building furniture.
Yeah, I do a lot of woodwork.
That's not something I thought you would say. Wow.
I think a lot of the time people are like, wait, what? And I'm like, no, but remember the engineering degree?
Ah, yes.
Yes, of course.
Sorry, the goldfish. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, now it makes sense.
It makes sense.
I'll sometimes, and also it's just because I'm like, oh, I want a new something, but I don't want to buy it. I'm gonna make it myself.
That's just the hobby. Yeah,
That's just things I end up doing with my time.
So how much gaming would you do a week on average?
See, now this is the hard thing. I have to limit myself, because if I start a thing, I don't stop the thing. So if I start a game, I will play solidly for like 12 hours every day until something else makes me stop. So I kind of have to be quite careful with it. I try not to let it fully take over my life, because I'll be up at 4 a.m. and I'm like, why is the sun coming up and why am I doing this to myself? I'm tired. So I have to be quite careful with that. So if I've got work on during a week, like acting work or something, I won't play games at all, because I'm like, I know I have to do this job, so let's focus on that, so that I actually, learn my lines and turn up prepared. And I haven't just been, playing a game all night. But then I have the Nintendo Switch as well, which is a problem one, because I will play that then on the train. You see, I'm like, oh, but I'm traveling. I can't really do anything else. I'm on the tube. I'm like, no, pay attention. Don't miss your stop. So yeah, I have to ration it out. It's all or nothing. I'm either just playing non-stop or I'm not playing.
We are very similar. Everything you're saying, God, we're similar. I will say, so we're on the Switch. What are you playing on the Switch at the moment? And give me some of your favorites on the Switch. Zelda, Mario, what are we talking here?
Yeah, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I've just been finishing up. Well, I say finishing up. Again, I got to the final boss and then stopped because I wanted to go find everything. So I've done all of the shrines now.
That's not a short game. We're talking out. That's what, 70 hours, 80 more, maybe.
Knowing me, probably more. I've done every shrine. I love the puzzles so much.
Oh, they're amazing.
And also I really liked in this version where you could find more shrines by looking for light routes, because the hard thing in the first one was finding the extra shrines. Like there was one I just could not find, so I had to Google it. I was like, missing one. I've been everywhere. I cannot find this one shrine. And then it was because it was like halfway down a cliff and it was in the like snowy area and whatever. Whereas in this one, I was able to find every shrine by going into the light route area and running around in there for hours. So I think I've found all of them. And I've found most of the interesting stuff in the Underdark area, which I really like. And all of the Sky Islands as well. I've done all of those now.
You prefer Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild?
I love them both. I love them both so much. I wish, though, in Tears of the Kingdom that they'd like started us in the pitch black dark area. Like if that's where we started, and everyone would just be like petrified, and you're like, how do I get out of here?
It turns into a survival horror.
Wouldn't it be good though? Like it would be so.
No, I get it.
Like, what's going on? And then you'd have to try and find like one of them shaft elevator things to get out.
I think I prefer Breath of the Wild. I don't want to be one of those people, but for this case, I think I prefer Breath of the Wild. There was just something magical about it.
I think the way it was like the first one in that style. So like you would go out and you're like, whoa, like the breath of the Wild was so like clear, and it gave you that first kind of like big open space and whatever.
Yeah.
And the fact that everything was kind of a bit more difficult to get to in a way, which meant it was more rewarding as well. It was like, this is really hard. Like, I don't know where anything is. I'm like, Whereas in this one, it's kind of like, I'll just go up to this sky island and float down.
But the creations in this one, I got to say, are incredible. Some of the people, what they've been able to do
Some
is
of the
just,
stuff
it's insane.
they're so smart. Like I've not been taking advantage of that, I don't think. I've mostly just
No,
been
me either. I'm a dummy.
I'm just there cooking. I'm just there going, I'm gonna go harvest more gold apples, and that's like about
Yeah. So do you have a PS5, Xbox, PC for the other
I've got
games?
a PS5 and I've got a Switch. I don't have a
Xbox,
desktop computer anymore.
PC.
I don't have an Xbox. I don't have a PC. I wanted to build one and I just haven't got around to it because it's been a lot of like effort, like just getting bits, and so I just couldn't be bothered, which is bad. But I did want to just build one, because my only computer is like a MacBook Air for travel purposes, so it's not like you can't play on that. But I did think that maybe if I got a PC, then maybe I could. I don't know, if I'm going to be playing a game for 12 hours, I could at least stream it along the side or something. Like,
Have you thought about streaming? Is that do you think you'll do it?
Well, a lot of friends have told me that I should, and I do think that I would probably enjoy it, but um, I'd have to build a PC first, and I kind of would need someone else to just tell me what to do. Like, I'd need like if the audience could just tell me what to do, then I could just do it.
What do you mean?
Like in terms of social media, I can't do social media type stuff. I'm terrible at it. So if someone just said, "Hey, you should post this," I'm like, "Okay, post." Like, I need someone else to just like direct it.
Okay.
Because otherwise, yeah, if I was streaming, it'd just be me verbal diarrheaing for hours.
Can you coerce your partner to doing that?
No, that's a terrible idea. There would just be us going, blah, 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 blah. And I think, yeah, me streaming, I don't mind doing it. I think it would be fun. I just need to actually like do it, like prepare it, like I'll go get some stuff, maybe get a nice backdrop. I don't know.
There is a lot to it. I tell you,
There's a
it's
lot
not
of
that easy. It really isn't. No.
Yeah, and then you've got to like edit it. Like even just doing a self tape for me, for an actor's self tape. Normally, if you're doing an audition in person, you go in 10 minutes, say your words, leave. Right? It's quite quick, maybe 20 minutes. But when I'm self-taping, I could be like there for ages, just tweaking stuff. Maybe I want to move this light. Maybe I want to. And now I'm editing it, and I've got to look through it. Oh, no, I'm gonna edit that one. So it'll take me hours. And I think if I became a streamer, it would have to just be like a free form thing. I wouldn't be able to do anything that involved me having to like think too hard.
Yeah, just keep it chill.
Yeah, I think I'd have to be very sort of like, just, expect chaos. It's okay, guys. Don't expect any kind of like organization to this.
We should get to some of these fan questions. I put out a post, hundreds of comments. Loved your performance, Mia. How did you come up with the voice for Isobel?
That was easy. It's just because in the character description, she was described as being someone who was from a very sort of a high class background, but she is very strong, and she is she's a fighter. She's not one to back down. And then in the lines of dialogue that I saw, she kind of, to me, sounded a little bit, she had a little sarky side to her, which I thought was quite fun and quite playful. So I wanted to play with that a bit. So I just kind of did what would be my more polite way of speaking, because my natural voice is a bit more sort of just London. And I am I sound a little bit scallywag sometimes, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I have to, she's a bit posher than this, you know what I mean? She's more well-spoken. She's from a much more sort of like centered, strong place. She has
Damn, you just transported me.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was not too difficult for me to sort of try and find that place of where she's speaking from.
Yeah. Nah, 100%. Does Isobel do her eyeshadow like that, or is she just regularly crying all the time?
My guess is that it was probably quite neatly done. And then she's just been up all night. Like, I don't know how often she has to redo that spell to keep the the bubble going. I'm imagining that she has to do that like every few hours, all the time. Maybe she doesn't get enough sleep, like she's just like, oh, I'm going to, oh, okay, I've got to do that thing again, get out there, do my thing. Oh, okay, I'm going to have a quick nap. And then by the end of that, that stuff's not staying put, is it? Especially on me. Eyeliner stuff, it is very hard to make it stay put. Really? So I can imagine. Yeah.
You can
put, it just gets everywhere. It's all over here. It's all over here. Oh, I can't do it. But yeah, I think that's what happened.
Where and how do you think Isabella and Dame Aylin would spend their first date together after 100 years?
I mean, I think we were in the actual place, isn't it? We re-met in Moonrise Towers, and right? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, but let's say it's real life. Where's the date taking place? Are they going to a movie? What do you?
Like in Planet Earth,
or maybe even in Baldur's Gate. I don't know what they would do actually.
I reckon they'd go for a lovely walk in the woods. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd go for a lovely walk in the woods, and they'd be looking at all the lovely trees and all the things, and look at the
with
moon.
no headphones on.
No headphones on, just like listening to the crunch of leaves underfoot,
Beautiful, beautiful answer. Would you like to see your DLC including Isobel as a playable character in your party?
Oh, that would be fun, but I think that there's already people that do the role of that character, right? Like people with the same cleric skills or whatever. So then it's kind of like, would I recruit? Like, I'm just thinking from a gamer perspective. Would I recruit her?
You're not going to recruit yourself. You've gone mad. You have gone crazy.
Oh, because there's other people that already do much. I'd need her to do something very like add something. Like what can she add? I don't know.
Who's your main three? Do you have a main three that you're running around with?
At the moment, who am I running around with? I think I've got Lazelle and Karlak, and then I've been swapping people in and out depending on what's about to happen or what's going on.
Yeah, you're not the only one. But those other two are mainstays.
Yeah. Just punching people and stuff.
Oh, because they're both kind of
They just come in and punch stuff. So.
They're pretty good, aren't they? Yeah. So you're a real gamer. You don't give a fuck about the storylines. You just want the best characters to fuck people up. Is that what you're
come
telling
in and punch things? It's like, oh no, but I do try and converse my way out of every fight first.
Same here. Oh,
and if it doesn't work, then you just punch them.
Well, if it doesn't work, I reload the save. No, I shouldn't say that. No. Not always. I did a playthrough where I didn't do any save scumming, so and that didn't go very well. Would you have you ever played D&D? And if so, are you curious about it?
I haven't actually played an actual on table with humans version, and I think I would like to. I've had people ask me before, I think years ago, because I have a few friends who run them or have like a group or whatever. And I've also, oh yeah, that could be quite fun. But then I'm also a little bit like, I'm not intimidated. I'm a bit like, oh, I feel like I don't know enough stuff. Like, I feel like I need to know more.
You don't want to be asking questions the whole time, a bit clueless.
Yeah, I want to go in and know what's, and I'm like, that's where I'd be a bit like, oh, I don't know if I know enough. I'd love to give it a go. Just make up a little character. Knowing me though, I'd be like, oh, maybe I should 3D print a little model of my character. And I'm like, is this now, am I doing too much? I don't know.
I feel like you would come up with a full backstory of the character.
Yeah.
An hour before you're building up to it, you're like putting on different makeup for the character. You got that armor or whatever you're going to use. Am I wrong or right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to have all of the things ready. It might take me a couple of years, like.
Do you ever think you'd do any cons or any sort of cosplay of Isobel?
Yeah, I'd love to. I don't know if I'd have to get a lot of like foam and stuff to make the armor and that kind of thing, and that would be quite fun. But I think it would take me a really long time. I'm one of those people where, well, if I'm going to do that, it needs to be perfect, and because it needs to be perfect, it won't be done for like another like 3 years or something. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, stitching on this, better restart. Like I don't know if I would be able to get to a point of completion.
I 100% understand. 100%. Pretty sure most actors don't actually know what their characters look like ahead of time. What was your reaction when you saw Isobel for the first time?
I did actually, when I first started with my character description, I got a small, tiny little picture, like literally only about that big, of her head. And at that time, she looked a lot more like me. So I was like, okay. And then I did see another updated image, and she still kind of looked like me. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then when we saw later on, I was like, oh, they've made her hair grey. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That was less expected. But I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense, because then they made it into a kind of like it was like a thing, right? Like the
Yeah.
Saluna, Saluna folk, they have the grey hair. I was like, oh, okay, that's a thing. Then yeah, okay.
So she was a brunette at one stage.
In the pictures that I saw, yeah. But I think that's because that was quite the picture that I saw was a very, very like an old, outdated picture, probably from what they just had at hand when they were still formulating the characters. So I was like, oh, okay, that's quite interesting. But yeah, I think it's always really exciting, especially for the smaller characters, because I have absolutely no idea about them. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they're wearing. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they are in the game. So I'm just walking around and I'm like, oh, that's me. And it's really fun seeing all of the ways in which they've been styled is so nice. And I think I've lucked out because all my characters look really cool. I think they look really cool. They're all really pretty. Everyone's got fantastic style. I'm like, yes.
They do too. I saw a photo you posted. You did luck out.
They all look,
yeah.
They all look fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have fully lucked out here. Everyone of my characters is awesome. They're all gorgeous and fantastic hair. And
so do you know what some of the cast look like, the actors?
Yeah, so I met a few of them. Larian had a small rap party kind of thing, and I got to meet a bunch. And that was really nice to meet people face to face. Some people I might have come across in the studio, just like literally passing by, like one of us is going in, one of us is out, and it's like, oh, hi, bye, kind of thing. So yeah, I got to meet a few more of the other actors, and just not see, that's a silly word, and find out kind of who they are as an individual as opposed to the character that they play.
The reason I asked, there's the thing going around. Some people think the actors look like the characters, and that they're based off them. And you've just said that you know Isobel kind of looks like you, which I agree. There is a little bit
there. Originally, I think she looked more like me than now. I think she looks less like me now.
But they're still. Do you think they're still a little bit?
I think they would have used our basic structure, because that makes sense, right? You would use someone's structure. If anything, I think she looks a little bit more like, maybe she looks a bit like my mom, kind of. my mom's got like short blonde hair, and she's a tiny lady, but she's got like a kind of, she always has it in like a little bob, and her hair's very, very fair. Like if she goes on holiday, the sun will just bleach it fully white, and I'm like, oh yeah. And she's got the same sort of face shape, so I'm like, oh okay.
Do you think the same for the actors? Do you think they look like their characters?
I'd say it's more about the bone structure thing. Like the bone structures match up quite nicely.
But not the actual features.
Individual features, I think, are slightly different. But like structurally.
Yes. Yes. No. I completely agree. Yeah.
It would take off all of our skin and we were just bones. Like, yeah.
Oh man.
Kind of grim, but
How curious are you about Isabel's past? The game never makes it clear how she died. I assume they didn't tell you?
No, I don't actually know. We don't know. I don't know. My character doesn't know. She's just like, one day I just was dead and everything was dark, and that's all I know. And I think that it would be interesting to know a bit more about that. But also, I think for the sake of the story, it's also okay for it to stay a bit of a mystery.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of, so I don't mind not knowing. I think I sometimes don't need everything to be answered. And that is weirdly quite an important thing that I don't mind not knowing.
No, there's always mystery's good. Mystery's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly. And also sometimes it's like, it's nice to leave it a bit open-ended and we can just come up with our own theories.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a Mask character. Sometimes you don't need to know to see their face. That mystery is kind of a cool thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then if they show it, then you're like, oh.
Yeah, inevitably, you're probably, yeah, I'd rather we never knew. Yeah. Would you consider pursuing more games and voice acting? And if so, what role or game would you be interested in diving into?
All of them. All of them. I want to be everyone. I want to play everything. I want to be in every game. And I want to play all of the characters.
Leave some for the rest. Yeah.
I'll be everyone. I'll do it all. Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's great. I love games. I love the fact that so many of my friends are in a lot of games as well.
Who do we know anyone? Do I know any of?
One of my friends is the lead in the Aliens game, the recent Aliens game.
Nice.
And another one of my friends is gosh, my brain has gone off. Ace Attorney. He is the Ace Attorney.
Nice.
And so I was like, oh, do you know what? That'd be great if I did start streaming, because then I could just like get my friends in and I could play their games with them.
Yeah, people would love that for sure.
I'd be like, because I've got the nerd skills and they've got, all the other skills. So
So you fancy yourself a good gamer?
No, I think I'm very, very slow. I think it would only be entertaining to people who like watching people collect stuff.
Oh.
Like if you want to see someone collect every single plant in an area, thing. Like, if you want to watch someone every single little thing that they happen to walk past, that's me. I'm there. I'm not yeah. And then even with things like Counter-Strike or something like that, I'd be like, some people are, you've got to run in, or like everyone's just waiting and now it's taking too long. I'm just going to run in. I'm going to run in, and now I'm in the middle, and now everybody's dead. So I don't know, but I'm very good at zombie games because I really don't like zombies. I just really don't like zombies. So I remember I used to play Left 4 Dead with a bunch of my friends, and
great game.
I would always get the most headshots, purely because if you shoot them in the face, they die quicker, so they don't come near you. So I'd be like shooting them in the face because I didn't like it. I just don't want them to come near me. I really don't like zombies. It's just.
But did you ever get bitten by a zombie or something? I remember I saw a photo of you with like an infected mark on you.
I've been bitten by many zombies in many weird little short films, and I am as my friends made a very low budget indie horror, and I played like a zombie as well, and he removed my leg in post.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was just like crawling around screeching. That was quite fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I quite like being a zombie. I don't think I like them in my face though.
Yeah, me either. So what's your Mount Rushmore of games of all time? Top 4.
I don't know. I don't know how I'd answer that. Because it depends on the season or what's happening. Like
give us some then. I won't make you pick 4, but give us some of your favourites of all time.
Zelda,
Mm-hmm.
all of Zelda. Zelda's got to be up there. Um,
Did you play Ocarina of Time?
yeah, yeah, I loved Ocarina of Time. I had an ocarina, like a little mini one I could play. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think what are all the best. I'm like, oh, there's so many games. Um, Half-Life, great game. I'm trying to think of games that like impacted me as a kid, you know, and I think Half-Life impacted me. Zelda Ocarina of Time impacted me. Obviously things like Mario Kart, because then you can play that with everyone, right? So Mario Kart is like a really sort of unifying game. Like no matter who's around you, you're going to play Mario Kart, right?
Did you play
So that's a
Last of
great game.
Us?
I did play Last of Us, but I haven't played the latest one, and I want to play them back to back
Mm-hmm.
for no reason. So I want to do that at some point. What's the other one? Is Shenmue.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved Shenmue so much when I was a kid.
Wow.
I
I've
loved
I've
Shenmue.
never played it. It's one of those. I know.
You can't play Shenmue.
I
I mean, I
know.
don't know how it would be to play now,
I'm
but
sure it holds up. It still holds up. I know for a fact. No, it
when
does
I was
hold
a
up.
kid, I was so fully obsessed. I would just be
Mm.
there, like going to the arcade in the game and playing other games.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that I'm ashamed to say, yeah, I haven't got to yet, but it's on the list.
It's worth it
Yeah,
is worth it. And it is like one of those, I don't know, I don't know how to describe why it was so good, but like some of the stuff was so mundane but really enjoyable. Like I'm just driving a forklift for ages. It's great.
I wonder if you'd like Power Wash Simulator or like Lawn Mowing
Probably.
Simulator. You know those
Yeah, I'd probably
games?
love it. Love it. I would. I don't like anything. I'll just play it. Like, what is it? I can get into it. Like,
Because I reckon I'd find that satisfying, just cleaning cars and stuff, and just something
yeah.
satisfying about it, you know.
I mean, it's even things like during the lockdowns and everything, and me and my friends would just end up rearranging all of our flowers on our island
Animal.
in Animal Crossing, and we'd all just go around together. And we're just like, we're going to rearrange all the flowers, okay? And it's
They
like,
need to add more content to that game. That's the problem. Everyone has done everything, don't you think?
yeah, yeah, but also, I think it came out at the perfect time when everyone
True.
was just like that time period. I feel like it's kind of weirdly special because we all had so much free time that we could just go fishing for hours. That was a lot of hours I spent fishing.
But you don't regret a single minute of it.
No, I have all of the fish. So you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'd be able to do that now. Like, I wouldn't
Oh
if
no.
I was to get the game now. It wouldn't be the same experience because I wouldn't be able to have all of my friends over to my island whenever I wanted, or I wouldn't be able to be like, hey,
So
let's
true.
let's go thing. Yeah, so I think that was a special time.
Do you ever play The Sims?
I did when I was younger. I haven't played the Sims 4. I haven't played any of the Sims 4. But again, that's a game that I don't think I would start because it doesn't have an ending. So because it doesn't have an ending, I shouldn't start it. Do you know what I mean? I
Dangerous.
need game I need things that end. It has to have a finish.
Thank you for doing such an amazing job with Isobel. She is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really liked her. I think she was so cool. I think she's one of the coolest characters just because she's so like she's gone through so much shit, but she's so badass. Do you know what I mean? Like she's like, yeah, like everything that she's been going through is it's a lot. But she's like, yeah, it's cool. We got this.
Did you ever meet Neil Newbon?
Yes, briefly a couple of times, just at the Larian event and also in Pitstop, I think once maybe. But yeah, most of the time I've just met people like ships
Yeah, I
in the
know.
night.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was nice at least recently to be able to sit down and chat with people a bit more. And yeah, everyone's so lovely. So
That's awesome. Last one. Favorite scene or line from Isobel?
I don't know. What would be
the reuniting scene. Is that up there for you, or?
Yeah. Do you know what? Doing the reuniting scene was really nice, and it was really, and that was actually, I think, the first time I got to hear her voice, because they played a little bit of playback for me, and I was like, "Ooh, intense!" Like
That would have
that
helped.
was really, yeah, it was very fun to record, and it was just a very nice sort of heartfelt scene, and yeah, so that was really nice to do, and then also to see, like, to play through and get to that point. It's like, yeah, this is really nice. It's worth it. You feel the catharsis, like, yes.
What do you hope, as we wrap up here, and thank you again for your time, what do you hope people take away from Isobel?
I think, what could she, what is like a life learning lesson? I think from as a life learning situation, resilience. She is very resilient, and she sticks to her guns. She knows what she wants. She knows how to get it. And so I think that's, for me, that's a good thing, because I'm often a bit sort of like I'm a little bit of a pushover. Like, when it comes to, if someone else says, "Oh, why don't you do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." What about that? Okay. Whereas like Isobel's, she's not a pushover in any way, shape, or form. Like, she will stand her ground. She is very firm. She is very like, no, this is what I'm doing, and this is what's right. Like, and I think that's a really nice thing to be able to incorporate into life.
Yeah, great answer. And anything you want to say to the fans that have tuned in today, or?
Thank you so much. Like, the response has been amazing, and I am so unbelievably overwhelmed with the amount of love that all of the characters have been getting, and especially, like, yeah, even me, I'm like, oh, this is so unexpected. It's really nice. Thank you if you've managed to listen to me drivel on for this long, I think. And yeah, let me know how I should manage my social media and what I should post and stuff, because I'm really bad at that. So if someone could just tell me what to do, that would make it a bit easier,
I think. Just post whatever you want.
I'm so
I want to
bad
see
at
you
it because,
playing
like,
Zelda, or on the train thinking about the
yeah,
next.
you go through my photo reel though, and I'll just have like a picture of the floor because I liked the crack, or like there'll be
Post
like a
that.
bug.
Why won't you post that of that crack? Post the freaking crack, Mia.
It's just nonsense. I'm very good at nonsense. I'm not very good at like a curated anything. I have no idea. Like, it's just, oh yeah. But no, I really do need to. I need to sort of do more, be more active. I'm very happy to chat. I'm much better at like physical chitty chatty, hi, and all of that. But yeah. So if I seem like I'm not talking very good on social media, it's not because I'm trying to ignore everyone, or I'm just really bad at it. So I'm really sorry.
Thanks for taking some time, Mia. I really appreciate it. I hope you've had fun.
Oh, thank you for having me, and I hope I didn't say anything weird. And let me know if you need anything else, and yeah, we'll sort it out.
You didn't say anything weird. Don't worry. No, you didn't. But before I let you go, can Isobel say something to Dan? Can we get that to round this out?
Yeah, but what would you want Isobel to say to Dan?
Whatever comes to your mind.
See, this is the thing. This is where the social media thing is a problem. I'll just be like, no, I need someone to give me a script. I'll just be sitting here for hours going, oh, but she could say this, or she could say that, or she could be like, I don't know. Like, what do you need her to say? What would be a useful thing?
Maybe something motivational.
Do you know what I love? I love the motivational speeches. Do you know what I mean? When someone's it's just really not motivational. Do you know the ones?
No, what do you mean?
Oh, let me find an example. I'm gonna have to use the internet. Hold
The
on.
non-motivational motivational.
Yeah, I find them very funny, but things like that. This is just the first one that came up on the internet.
Yeah.
If at first you don't succeed, try management.
Yeah. I love those
Or,
too. Yeah.
Every day is a new chance for you to screw up again. They're just silly. But
Oh.
yeah, maybe I don't know if something might be a bit better. Is there anything more nice? No, everything is not nice. Oh, this is good. It's never too late to go back to bed.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, demotivational. But no,
Brilliant.
what would be useful? I will say anything. Just give me lines. Give me a script.
No, that's more than enough. You've done more than enough for us, Mia. So we can find you Instagram, Twitter, anywhere else?
I have a TikTok, but I don't post on it. I just scroll and look at a lot of cat videos. So I could start posting on TikTok. Maybe that's a place where I could just post random stuff. I don't know.
You should be on
But it's
TikTok.
all
You
just
should
under
be
my
on
name.
TikTok.
I've got it because I love it. I really love TikTok. I just, again, social media.
Have you done a post?
Like,
Hey, I'm Isobel.
no, that's a good idea. There you go.
Hey, that'll get 1 million views, just like that. Hey guys, I play Isobel. Got any questions? Questions?
But then do I do
fire
it in character? Are you supposed to do it in character?
Yeah, do it in character. Exactly.
Like, hello, my name's Isobel. No, wait, I'm Mia. No, hello, my name's Mia. Hey, Isobel. See, again, I can't.
Hey, I'm Isobel. I play Mia in
I
real
play
life.
Mia. In real life, I'm actually, I'm actually a half elf, and I'm a cleric. In my spare time, I pretend to be an actor from London.
Yeah. No, yeah, you should. And then people will give you questions and off you go. I mean, I've only covered 1% of the questions we got. There's so many fans that want to hear from you. So anyway, it's a pleasure, Mia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. And I hope this was useful. And let me know if you need anything. I'm always around.